All right, Pete. Well, let's go back to last week's runners and let's walk me through where we got to.
All right, I've got the sheet. You wouldn't have the running sheet. So we'll start with what Robbie Griffiths described as one of the best lasts you'd see in a while with Mr. Moneybags. Do you get that, did you?
Field of eight at Caulfield.
Yep.
He finished last, but was only beaten 4 lengths, had the quickest last. I thought Mr. Moneybags ran pretty good. He'd had 3 trials of Cranbourne on heavy ground over 800, and the only way we could get him on top of the ground or up to 1,000 was we had to race him, because with COVID, the restrictions on the trainers and where they can trial and when they can trial, pretty much limited to their training base. So I thought it was a good plan to go there, and I thought the horse actually ran out of his skin, Pete. 4 lengths, fastest last 400 and 200 out of the whole field. On the corner, I thought he was going to get beat 10 or 12, but he actually found the line good, and I think he's in for a really good prep.
Yeah, I agree. Normally when they have to chase from the gates to, the 4, they'll flag the last 200 or 300, but he was good. He chased as hard as he's ever chased, and it's promising for him going forward.
Well, he's come back off a long break with an injury,
yep.
and an injury that's been 100% fixed, which won't worry him going forward. So you don't really know whether that was sort of niggling away at him last prep when he ran good races without winning. So, it'd just be interesting to see if he just maintains that level or can improve even.
Yeah. No, he's back to a rating now, which I think he's better than that rating. He's getting back to nearly benchmark 78 level, like he was in the 90s at one stage. So he's going to come from a good base. So that was good. Jai McNeil obviously rode there. Tachura we went to. Now, we'll start with the good news, because that was a winner. Sunbird, she still does a few things wrong in the run, but she had links on that field, and a nice little ride to get her to settle. When he produced her, she put him away quickly.
Yeah, she did. She was never really in doubt, was she? That was his second ride on her. He obviously learned a bit from the first time he was on her and put her into the race at the right time. And she just does so much wrong. She's got a bad head carriage. She runs around, ducks in, and waits for her mates and all the rest of it. But no, she was too good there. And the pedigree suggests she'll get further. I think they will try her over further at some point, but she's just got to learn how to be a racehorse. And I'm sure if she was bomb-proof and did everything right, that just on raw ability, you'd think she was midweek city class.
Yeah, but, I agree. She, if you could just tamper it a bit, you find 2 or 3 links easy, just in the ability to travel. Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
And that'll give her the opportunity to get out to 1,400 and 1,600, because she's got a lovely turn of foot. Anyway, it's nice to tick off a win, Darren, for those owners, but also for ATB.
Well, I think Matty Williams has done a great job. Training her after Mick Price and Mick Kent pre-trained her. And we got her down to the beach. Obviously, they're all tied up together, and the beach has really helped her, and I think Matty's done a good job with her. So I haven't held back from letting Mr. Price and Mr. Kent know that I think they're probably the most expensive pre-trainers I've got.
And it's only going to be for her betterment to stay with Matthew Williams too, down in that environment.
100%.
Unfortunately, the tail wasn't as good with Murals, who went up there. We had her on 2 synthetic tracks for 2 poor results. We thought we'd roll the dice with a grass track race. Drew Barrier won, had Harry Coffey on her, who had rode her in a trial, and apart from a little squeeze at the 600, she was disappointing, beaten 20-odd links.
Yeah, she just hasn't shown any ability at all at the track. She hasn't run up to a track work. She hasn't run up to any trial form. Whether it's all too much for her or whether she's just not cut out for the racing game, I don't know. But it's a very expensive business having horses in work, and when they're not going to be competitive, you can't just keep sending them around.
No.
Particularly not at these big stables. So, you know, she's one that the owners have decided that, as with all our horses, we leave it to the owners to decide what they want to do. And, yep, they pretty much all voted that we'd be best to move her on. So
Yeah.
she'll be live tomorrow in the English online sale. Yeah, it's disappointing because we gave her the time. You know, David, Eustace, Kiramar thought she could win a race or two out in the country, but she just hasn't brought that form to the racecourse, and you know, we just don't know why. So, you know, it's probably best that she moves on, and whether she finds a home in a paddock as a riding horse, or whether she finds a home, you know, racing around in some country facility, or she might even find a home as a broodmare, because she's pretty well bred anyway. So I'm sure she'll find a good home next week.
Yeah, if they're beating 6-7 links, you can hold some hope that you can go, but when they're beaten as far as her, and, you know, like you said, the female side of that family has produced us plenty of nice horses along the way, and unfortunately, yeah, she just never quite cut it genetically there. Move on. That was Saturday. We had Rotor at Pakenham on Tuesday. Another, I don't know, I'm the same as you. I watched that race watching a horse sitting 3 right wide with cover, and I was happy until Adam Olzanski said that Rotor was 12 legs out the back. There was too many Euro yellow colours, Darren.
Well, I was watching the fluoro, and I thought, gee, I didn't think his blaze was that pronounced. And as soon as I thought that, I heard him say the same. And anyway, he wasn't in the picture, but he missed the start 15 lengths, stood in the gates, didn't come out, 15 lengths off him, sealed him up, made a bit of a runner in the corner, and then he just cuddled him down the straight, beat 9 lengths. Look, he's another one that's going to get moved on. He seems to have a few tricks, this horse. He's doesn't appear to be 100% genuine. So, you know, he ran a nice second there. He's won a race, but, you know, I think Shay's pulling his hair out there, and, you know, we've come to the conclusion that he's just too tricky and he's just not consistent. With his rating, it's too hard to get a run. And, yeah, it's just not worth it. So he's got to be moved on.
He's probably got more ability than a 58 horse, but he just doesn't want to bring it to the table.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we touched on Penthouse Playboy, obviously with Pat Ryan there, and we're heading to the stage where we'll probably retire the big fella. He's just soundness issues along the way. Penthouse Playboy, we didn't know whether it was a track or whatever at the stage after the race, because it was a very heavy track, but it was a very chopped up track, and the vet afterwards suggested he was 3 out of 5 lanes. So owners are looking like they want to retire the big boy, and probably the best way to go.
Yeah, he showed a lot of promise early. I think he's placed in town, won a couple of races, looked like being a handy stayer, but never really been the same horse since he ran in the Jericho that year as favourite. Took us a hell of a long time to get him over that and get him back. He suffered a lot of foot abscesses and issues. You know, he's got leg issues, been well managed down the beach. But I think we've probably gone as far as we can with him. And, you know, it's just not fair to the animal to keep pushing him around when he's obviously feeling it. And, you know, he's probably better off out of racing.
Yeah. It certainly makes someone a lovely horse to hack around on, because it is a beautiful big horse. And, yeah, anyway, we'll sort all that out in the next few days. I think just before his race was Collectible, who she copped a battering. She got a black eye. She swallowed a heap of dirt, mud. You only had to look at Jamie Mott's attire when he come back, and you could see why she probably swallowed a lot of dirt.
Yeah, that track was, well, I think that track started off as a 4 or a 5 in the morning and ended up an 8, which was probably closer to a 10. She's never performed on anything worse than a 7. I was actually scared she'd broken down, Pete, in a run when he sort of cuddled her to the line, but I got on the phone to Robbie 5 minutes later and found out that it was just, you know, she wasn't travelling. Her action was gone. She copped one in the head and, you know, for a clot of dirt. So, look, we just got to put a line through that. I just hope she, you know, gets over it and comes through it all right. But I don't know what we do with her now because she's sort of on track to win a race, but she doesn't handle 7 or worse. So this time of year, trying to find a decent surface, we're probably just got to maybe just give her 4 or 5 runs, weeks between runs now, just to wait for it to dry out a bit.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's been raining here all day. It's going to pour rain for the next 3 days. They say the weather patterns, we're going into this La Nina phenomenon, which is going to be wet all the way down the coast to Christmas. So we're just going to have to pick and choose where we take it. It's just no point running them on anything worse than a 7.
Yeah, and then that midweek option is Sandown, which makes it tough as well, doesn't it? So
it's always in that rain belt, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, we'll obviously just get her to recover because I think Monty was the same. He thought she may have gone internally because obviously she couldn't breathe. So moving on, today as we sit here, and only about an hour ago, we had Serious Deal run at Waddle over 1,700, and he was as honest as usual, finished third. I thought he looked the winner on the home turn, but a couple just got off his back late, beat just over a length.
Yeah, he rode him pretty well, I thought. Fred Kersley, him and Kamani have been in good form. I think it was an $8 chance in the race, and you know he was always an each-way chance. You could see at the 200 the thing was just going to peel off his back and go past him, but he fought on well, and would have liked to seen him just being a little bit harder on him the last 50 to get second. Thought he was a little bit soft on him the last 4 strides, cost us second, Pete. But anyway, look, the horse has been consistent. He hadn't had a run for quite a while because he'd been drawing bag gates, emergency, and, you know, he doesn't really handle the heavy, but out of desperation, we had to run him today on a heavy 10, so he probably should have ran 2 weeks ago on a heavy 8 or something, as it turns out. But if we didn't run him today, we would have to go back to the trials probably. So, look, he's an honest little horse. He tries. You know, he's going to win a couple of those sort of races. If it was a little bit drier, I think, you know, he just needs the 1,800 metres, probably soft 7 maybe, 6 or 7. And if we can get all that in a nice gate and a good ride, you know, he's going to win those races.
Yeah. I think, again, today it showed you the importance of a good gate and a positive ride. Like, he pushed him out, got the 1-1. You know, you can just control your own destiny from there. And, you know, he just wasn't good enough. But he's ran up to his form. So there's a race there again for him. Or, you know, like you said, probably a couple. Firmer track, anywhere from 17 to 2000s, his go. So that was it, Darren. A winner and a third and a couple of retirees.
Yep. Yeah, the numbers are dwindling, Pete.
Yeah.
Well, we sent a few back in today, so.
Yeah, there's a few headed back to some, well, it might have been 2 to Griffo, and we've got a lot just pushed. Yeah, that's right. The grey, Motley Prince. Got a few just pushing through the trials now that are not far away, and some are trialling up nicely, and Irishman and Madam Mischief and those. So it'd be nice to get them back racing. Capriccio, Gamay, all trial well during the week. So we've got a few.
On the way, Pete.
Yeah, it's always good to have the nice horses coming back through. Runners coming up. Now, Hasniaki is the first one we'll speak about. She's nominated for a mile race at Swan Hill Monday. Looks the ideal scenario for her distance-wise after that good third at Donald. We just got to get a run, which shouldn't be a problem now with that third against a name.
Well, we said all along, 4th up 1,600 was her go, Pete, so she must be just the moral for Monday.
Well, it's got the rubber stamp on it. It's 4th up and it's a mile. So, well, I mean, you know, I know it's hard. You wait and you just hope they can produce early, but fitness-wise, form-wise, you just
run is good, love.
Yeah, you just hope you draw a nice barrier and sit in behind them and big straight at Swan Hill, you don't get too excited. You produce them about halfway down, and just hopefully you can get the job done.
No, she'll go there a red off chance.
Yep. I did mention an Irishman. He's been nominated for a few races, but I think the stable are keen to give him another trial and just have him sort of cherry ripe for a 1,400 metre tilt first up. So while we've seen noms, I'd be surprised if he's running over this weekend coming.
He's only had one start for one win, Pete, hasn't he?
Yeah, we want to keep that record. Picket fence, keep building it. Yeah, that was a 1,400 metre win at Terang. So, I mean, they've got that template knowing that that horse can win at that distance first up. So I think they're pushing towards that. Connor is the only other one I know, and that's Wednesday at Sandown. He had a little hiccup before potentially going to Sandown last week with I don't know what it ended up being. It was like what did Archie call it? It sort of had like a dead leg, but he was a bit sort of, it was just lame on it. And anyway, he's over it now, and he trialled all right at Sonata during the week, so he goes to a 1,800 metre race, should I say, next Wednesday. He'll get the surface to suit. Yeah.
Well, he's another honest horse, isn't he? He's just an honest animal. He's a lot like Serious Deal, probably just a grade better, but
yeah,
you know what you're going to get when you go to the races. If he runs worse than fifth, you're shocked. So he always runs really well and tries. He just tries his guts out. So you love those horses.
Yeah, that's his niche. That 70, 78 level mile 1,700. Get a gate, and they're going to get a run. So yep. He's been a good horse for 2 or 3 seasons now. And he's not the soundest horse either. So stable have done a really good job with him. Yeah, and there's probably another city win there to tick off, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly right.
So that's about
that's all we know about.
That's all. And those Hasniaki will be out tomorrow. But Connery, we won't worry about. We won't know until Monday. And I'm thinking the week after we might have a little bit to chat about with some upcoming runners. So,
okay.
Yes.
Well, Pete, I suppose the last thing we need to talk about is we finished our knockout tipping comp. It's all over.
Yep.
It took 4 weeks to get from 130 or 40 down to 1.
Yes, we did.
4 weeks of tipping.
Yeah, and the one winner, 4 wins, 4 weeks in a row.
Pretty good effort to Mark Howley. Congratulations to Mark. He ended up being the last person standing. So 4 out of 4.
Did you watch the race? Did you watch the race?
I did miss the start. I'll tell you that, I don't know, have you got all the names there for the place getters?
I do.
So I know Susan Idle and was it Vaughan?
Simon Vaughan. They were equal second. Yep.
Equal second. And Sue Idle, I think she ran second in a photo. So she was very unlucky.
Unlucky, yeah.
Not to win. And Simon Vaughan equal second. And then I just can't remember the names of the third place.
Yeah, it was Karen Cohen and Clive Upton were tied on 9 points. Yeah.
So this is pretty good effort. So what we've done here is I reckon Mark Howley's already got his $500 cash in his
in the tin tank
bank account.
Yep.
So he's already got that. But what they don't get a voucher sent to them, and none of them know this yet. So if they bother to watch ATB TV, they're going to find out.
Beautiful.
So we're going to send them an ATB voucher. And I think we're going to send them an ATB cap to go with it, and they will go out to Sue Idle and Simon Vaughan, and also to Clive Upton and who was the other one?
Karen Cohen.
Karen Cohen. So we'll chase them up and get their postal addresses, and their voucher can be used to buy a share in a racehorse, Pete.
Good move.
With ATV.
With ATV, yeah. No one else.
And it expires at the end of the year. So, So well done to everyone who participated. I'm sure you're relieved that it's over because you're the one doing all the work.
That one was a little bit muddling, but yeah, a few numbers dwindling off. So. No, it was good. It was a good concept. And Well
Yeah,
received.
so we'll have a spell. We'll have a spell now. We'll give ourselves a bit of a break now, and we'll have a think about if we're going to do anything else later in the year over the spring carnival.
I think that's the go. We had a spring carnival one last year, and I think we'll come up with something that's easy to correct, easy to. No, we'll do something for the spring because that's when all the good horses make.
Yeah, I think maybe towards the end of September and right through October into November. I think finishing up on the week of Flemington. So we'll just have a little 4-week break now, and then we'll come up with something new. So stay tuned to that.
Sounds good.
Well, let's wrap it up, Pete. You got nothing else?
No more foals?
No, we've got I've got a mare there that I think she's due. I don't know where the sheet is, but she's due in about 4 or 5 days. I'm sure she'll foal probably before Sunday.
Yep.
She's in foal Rich Enough, and Sava Babe's in foal at Dandino. She's probably looking at the end of August, which is only 10 days away. And then we get really nervous, Pete, because in early September we've got Crack the Code having her first foal. So, and we're expecting Fleet of Foot, who's Centre and Lane's little sister, to have her first foal. So, by Luke De Vega to give us a 3/4 to Centre and Lane. So there'll be a bit of stress over there at Lane Pine with Tom and Shelley, and I think they're kind of glad we're not foaling right at the minute in this weather because it is pretty ordinary.
Very ordinary.
But I think but these mares, one thing I've noticed over the years is they just don't foal in the bad weather. They have the ability to hang on and wait.
Yeah.
So I think Pledge of Allegiance is probably doing that now. So I think Saturday's going to be pretty ordinary. So maybe she'll foal Sunday night.
The natural mechanism's kicking in.
Too good. They're too good, mate.
Yep.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm Darren Dans with Peter Morganti. Thanks so much to Pat Ryan for giving us his time. I thought the interview with Matt Kamani last week was outstanding as well, and it's something we'll continue to do over the next 4 or 5 weeks. So until next week, enjoy your racing, enjoy your football, enjoy down, and hopefully where you are, the sun is shining because it's